Series of videos, basically simulating the fact that I've only got $20, and that's all I've got to spend, $20. So we've got our account set up. We've deposited our $20 in XRP, which is what we've got. So I don't leave it in USD, obviously, because I want it to be an asset that's trading. So if I sell them, it would appear as a USD, and that would just obviously go into whatever the US dollar is at the time. So we've got our assets sitting here, and you see it slowly either going up or going down, depending on what the market's doing. But what we do is we have an available balance here that we can invest. And we do this by what's called leveraging. Just to try and explain this for you. Um, and just please ask some questions at the end if you're not sure what it means. So across the top, we've got our balances. That's what our balance of the account is at the moment. We can deposit that. We want to go put that into another account. We want to do that, or we can withdraw it again to another account. So that's why I'll go a bit slow on that one. Deposit. So if we want to receive some money from another account, we would deposit into here. That would be the actual address, the hash code there. So we go and with XRP, they require a tag. So if you ever need to do that, and put together a video for that as well. It's not too difficult. Simply copy it, because this, once you get this wrong, it's unrecoverable. It's just la la land. Withdrawing. If you want to withdraw it out to another account, exactly the same, just reverse. Converting. If you want to convert XRP to, say you want to do to Bitcoin, you can have a look at that. What can I do? So you can change 20 XRP. It's going to cost you nothing through XRP, and then at 0.00337 to BTC, depending if you're not happy, or you can convert half of it if you like. Or we can stake it or lend it out. Actually, lend it for probably a better way. Staking is a little bit different. So 0.88% interest a year. For that much, I don't bother. I usually stake my XRP somewhere else and get about 6%. If XRP doesn't give you very high, there are ones you can get a lot higher than that. But if you're going to, you would use that if you're going to hold for long periods of time. So we've got across the top there the deposits we've done in. So I put this into this account. Ready to go. Any withdrawals we've done. Positions are where all of our everything we do basically. Any transfers we do, any trades we do will all be here. Bills would be if we sell any of our stock or buy any of our stock, it will all be in there. We won't worry about these two. There's no need to worry about them at the moment. Okay, so what we will do is we'll go to balance again, and we'll move up to here. Now we've got a choice up here. We won't worry about other. We're going to worry about futures and spot. Okay, so futures essentially is what's called petrol market here. We're sort of banking on things are going. We don't actually own the asset. We actually leverage against it to take for $20. I'll give you an example. So we will go into, I'm very bullish on XRP for the next 3 days at least. Given that on Friday we've got the Sologenic and XRP airdrop, like this price is going to push up. So let's have a look at the market here. So I'll use my normal 5-minute things. What I want to do is I want to buy this at exactly the bottom price at the moment. Very hard with XRP because it was just going up and up and up. So we may be at our bottom, but we want to get every little dollar out of it. Now you see over the top here, over here, I've got 25%, 100%, 50%. If we scroll down, we've got a bunch of numbers here. We've got total collateral, free collateral, we've got $16.55. If we leverage 100% of that, we can buy another 359 shares of XRP, $330, and that's going to leverage us out basically pretty fully. That's everything we've got. We would create a liquidation, which is very cheap, but that's very, very risky because it just drops down to here, which it may do. It's only down to 90, it's not a big one. We'll be in a world of a, so we will go for something starting off around about 50%. So we've got to look at also the RSI. It is pointing up at the moment, so it's taking a little bit of turn, but it's not really meeting our measures for purchasing or selling at the moment. It's all in a bit of a sideways movement. We've got to keep hold of that. So if we did make a purchase on that, which I don't want to do because obviously we'll fuck up the fees, and the last thing we want to do is do that. So we can't show you what happens when we go into spot and what the difference is between that. So you see it's just starting to move up, so we'll keep an eye on that. Maybe look at a 3-minute window just a bit tighter, see what it's doing. So it's starting to bend. So why haven't we taken a trade here? Well, it hasn't met our requirements yet. Whereas those two lines have got across with the green line above it to trade. And we don't know whether 92 is its peak. With all the information we've got, obviously I've researched news articles and analysts, and I've got across to tools that we've got here, which is a market cap. So an overview of the market of XRP. And you see this is the monthly graph. So we had this is when we were all crashing. Since this point here, it's been a really good growth. Pull it down to the 7 days. It's really, really nice. So again, you can see here all the indicators we need to do. So it has in the 24 hours has dropped down to 82. That's kind of where we wouldn't mind if it actually just dipped for a while. And that's why I say, what happens is the novice buyers just become so passionate about a coin that they'll buy it at any price. So they'll buy it here, and it's at its peak at the moment. We'll always have a trough. Even when it gets peaks here, it will come down again for re-engaging. So we want to buy them in these dips. So that's the hard part, to try and find when those dips are. Sometimes they don't come quite as big. You can see where it's going here. It's very hard to find the dip. It's just going on up and up. So you can only go by the formulas. So I'll just keep an eye on this. Another 10 or 15 minutes before we're ready to trade. So probably won't get in this video. So, but I will record when we do actually trade. So again, looking at some of the indicators we're looking at here, compared to the market at the moment, historical data. So what did it do? What's its highs and what's its lows? It has actually, at one stage it was at $3.90, which is before obviously the problems we had with the SEC. For those of you who don't know, what happens is the SEC are taking Ripple, which is a parent company, board at the moment. It's been going on for quite a while. The number of accounts frozen in the US. XRP is unable to be traded on US exchanges at the moment. So the exciting thing about that is that XRP are looking like, or Ripple are looking like they're going to win this case. If they win this case, XRP will triple in value very, very quickly. $2.70 to $3 will be very, very quick. So we're looking to see if there's any news here. XRP decentralized Dogecoin price analysis. I've read through all this. I still like everything I see. There's quite a bit of news here. XRP Terra Luna. So Luna's another really good one we can look at as well. We don't have to stick with XRP, but I really do think the next 3 or 4 days growth, that's where we're going to see it. So, all right, we're just going to move back, and so the value of doing this is that we can actually buy 180 coins. We've only got, go back to our wallet, 20 coins. But because we have to leverage, which means we're borrowing against it, we're actually borrowing money to this. So this is where it becomes, there's obviously an element of risk in this, is that if we go wrong, we could lose everything. So, which is why we have to make some calculated risk versus reward. If I put the house on it at $3.30 and it goes up to $1.20 or somewhere like that, and we sell out, we make a really good profit. That's great. So if we were to do it now, we say took profit at $1.20. We did a stop loss of around about 88. 188. This is what it would look like. We would take $101 profit, which would be awesome, but we'll take $14.25 loss. Now we say, okay, why don't we shorten the odds on this? Maybe we'd be a little bit more realistic. $1 profit down to $1. Still make a nice $30. So remember, we've only got $18 in there. We're going to make 29. Shorten it on here to 90. Now the risk on that is that it just goes below 90, and we just take a loss, and we gradually whittle away at our funds. So if you're going to do this, you really have to be on top of the trading all the time and keeping your stop loss short, and actually hitting this trade button almost spot on. So what I like to do is, as I said, we've got at the moment, we've got what's called moving averages cross. Okay, which is the yellow line and the green line. The yellow line is here, and then the green line is here. So this is using 3-minute periods at the moment. Every 3 minutes is one of these lines. Now you can see the body of this here is that's where it's top is for that 3 minutes, and that's where its bottom is, and that's where its maximum basically bid got to. So we're looking for some sort of patterns happening here. So we've got a nice little bit of run going on, but again, it still hasn't met our criteria to buy in. That could be a little bit of a bull's, or what they call a bear trap or a bull trap, depending on which way it's going. And we can see if, well, I'll see if I can find an example of that, which I showed you a bit yesterday, but if you haven't seen that video. Here's a great example of a bear trap. It's met our criteria here of crossing these lines. Hit the green and say, yes, we're going to buy. We're buying in, it's going to look really good. And then it sees 2 reds, and we start to panic a bit. So, but we've got to hold our nerve a little bit here and see if it gets that down across that line again. It doesn't. So if we had it sold out here, we miss this amazing run. For me, when I'm getting to here, I'm thinking about selling anyway. So I've made a good profit, or at least moving my stop loss up to somewhere around here, so that when it does come back down, we'll probably end up selling around that 8, 9, 9. So again, here it's made that crossover. Not a big, we really wouldn't have made anything out of that trade. Very shallow. So we're looking for deeper, longer runs. And you see another one there, now moving from 90 to 92. They're good movements. So we're not going to do that bigger leveraging. So we're leveraging at 9.42 on that. I think as a beginner, around this mark is where I would be leveraging. But because I'm a little bit more over it, and I'm on it probably more than most people are, I hear I've got my phone going all day, and I've got a computer here as well, and I get alerts sent to me if something's happening. I can react fairly quickly and obviously change. So we want to see where that's going. Still, it looks really good. We're very close to meeting. See there at 91.99, 92. All right, they've just basically crossing now. We've got to hold our nerve again here, because the next one here is really important one. That 3 minute window. So we're about 2 minutes 40 seconds. So whilst we're waiting for that, we'll have a look at the chart. So this is the XRP, this tether chart. So what we're looking at is resistance levels. So its first resistance is 92, which is sitting at 92.25. Just a little bit over that at the moment. So does that mean we're going to do the next resistance, which is 97? If it drops below that, then we're looking at a support level of 79, which is a huge gap. So very close. Again, I'll talk about resistance, where it's exactly what it says. Resistance is where it meets this 92 mark here and struggles to get past it. You see 92.3, 92. So that's why we're not ready to take this trade at the moment. Just hanging on to the 92. So just tapping across. You see that Lex pop up. Sometimes when I move my mouse around. We scroll back here. You see it hasn't cracked that 92 yet, so that's the high. So it's not necessarily, may not be the greatest time to buy. We might be looking for short-term victory on this, but we've got to wait and see what happens with this. So we've got a little bit of a wait. We go back to our 5 minute one, which is generally, when the market's more stable, I tend to use that one. And we've still got a bit of a way before it meets our criteria here. We go to our 1 minute one, and we want to be really quick. Well, it's well and truly been in there for a while. So if we had gone in there, we would have made reasonable sort of profit on here, but it is very lighty in this. So 3 minutes gives you a little bit more stability, and so 5 minutes gives you more. So and again, obviously look at that RSI supporting upwards. It's really nice. Lots of heavy trading in the green. We look at these are all the trades happening in FTX. We look at the wall that's coming through, heavy green. All the signs are looking to, it's a good time to get into the trade. We've gone into this next one. Yep, we could have took it. We would have had some nice wins at the moment. But we've got to stick with the formula. If we don't, if we miss this trade, it doesn't matter with the other one. This will probably, I'm guessing, probably come back down again. People start selling off, because we're right on the resistance levels at the moment. So I'm going to leave the video there, and so I'll put this out so you guys can have a look and understand. Why is the sort of, actually before we do go, we'll show spot. Spot's exactly the same, but you actually own the coin. So if we go to spot, and we'll show XRP versus USD. So this is versus US dollar. we're buying it. At the moment, we can't buy any at the moment because we don't have any money to buy it with. That's why we're going to start off with using some the actual futures section, so we can actually get some more cash to buy some more coins and keep doing it that way. And that's how you build your portfolio up with a small amount of money. So I still don't think we're in the right zone for trading just at the moment. I think we're at the highest mark. I think there's got to be a little bit of a correction, but I could be wrong with this. I mean, obviously I've been pretty heavy on my accounts at the moment, but I've bought way down here, around that down in the 70 mark where I bought. So I've got that nice growth in there, and I took some profits here and then repurchased in about here again. Profit about there, profits about there, and then obviously improved my spot position. Which spot is basically just actually buying the asset. All right, well, it has met our trading position here, almost. So we've still got another. So it just clicks over to the next green bar. The other one you got to worry about is what's called slippage. And you see what you're buying it at the 9253 and what the order book is. So if I go to that 925435 somewhere around there, I'm buying it upwards above the line. So I just want to get it at the beginning of this one. It might drop down a little bit, so see if we can get it to drop over. It's been this new one at the moment. We've got a price. We want it. If this stays green, by our normal analysis, it should be right for the changing. So you can see what happened here. We had a crossover just there, red, but didn't quite make it. Okay, and that's what we want to avoid. Otherwise, we can take a loss in the short term, but we think we're going to come back. But I really want to buy on the bottom of the red if I can. So that crossover here. So just going to give that a little bit longer, hopefully. All right, so that's met our criteria. So technically we're going to go on with 50. I'm going to go to stop loss with 90 at 91. I'm going to set my take profit at a bit of a cheeky $1.10 in case we get that. So if we get a trade, we're going to lose $2.38, 31.84. Jump into the trade, and you'll see what happens here down the bottom. We've invested 180 XRP. We're up 3 cents already. I'll keep an eye on this market. I'm watching that RSI just dipped a little bit. So I've got to keep an eye on that. We'll see this fluctuate. It'll go into the red, it'll go into the green, and I'll decide whether my stop loss is down here. I'm going to reshift this to there to minimize losses around about that bottom there. So I can modify that amount to 180 at 91. So that'll flip that from what it was at about $2 losses down to about $1 loss now. So we're going up straight away. So it's meeting our criteria. So I'll do a little video and tell you where we're at within the next 2 hours. So that's the first one where we bought in. See how we go from there. Okay, so we have a nice 15 cents already, so we're doing good. Okay, take care, stay safe, be kind to each other, and look forward to the next video.